Sometimes the biggest stories aren't on the front page. They're buried deep inside a corporate earnings call. And today, we're going to decode one from an absolute energy giant that pulls back the curtain on this massive, hidden power struggle that's brewing right behind the AI revolution. We all see the headlines about AI, right? The incredible new tech, the insane race for faster and faster chips. But have you ever stopped to think about the cost? All this progress has a cost. And the biggest one, well, it's almost completely hidden from view. So what is it? You'd think it's the silicon, right? The GPUs, the billions and billions in R&D. Nope. The real bottleneck, the one resource that could actually slow this whole revolution down, is just pure, raw electricity. Okay, get a load of this number, 20 gigawatts. That is the sheer scale of the demand we're talking about. That's how much power these massive data centers, these hyperscalers, are already asking for in Florida alone. Just to put that into perspective for you, a single gigawatt can power hundreds of thousands of homes. We are witnessing a demand surge like we have never seen before. So, with a problem this huge, who on earth can step up and solve it? Well, this brings us to the company at the very heart of this earnings call, a company that is positioning itself to be the primary builder for this new energy era, NextEra Energy. And listen to how CEO John Ketchum frames it. He's not just talking about, keeping the lights on. He is framing NextEra as the industrial-scale infrastructure powerhouse the country needs to fuel its digital future. That is a bold, crystal-clear statement of intent. Now, Ketchum used a word there, hyperscalers, and it's super important we get what this means. We are not talking about some local server room in an office basement. A hyperscaler is an operator of unimaginably massive data centers. We're talking about the tech giants, the ones running the cloud and building the world's most powerful AI models. They are the ones driving this incredible new thirst for power. So how is NextEra actually built for a challenge like this? Well, it's a really simple but powerful two-part structure. On one hand, you've got Florida Power and Light, or FPL. Think of it as the stable foundation powering one of America's fastest-growing states. And then, on the other hand, you have NextEra Energy Resources, which is the competitive growth engine, building massive energy projects all across the country. To really get NextEra's grand national plan, we've got to look at their home base first, Florida. It's their laboratory, their proving ground for powering a high-demand, high-growth future. And what a proving ground it is! I mean, Florida isn't just growing, it is exploding. Its economy is bigger than a lot of countries. It's leading the entire U.S. in job growth and companies moving in, and it's on track to add another 1.5 million jobs. All of that growth requires a colossal amount of new, reliable energy. So how does FPL handle this? Well, their playbook is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. They're planning to invest a staggering amount. We're talking up to $100 billion to build out the grid. But here's the kicker. They managed to do all of this while keeping customer bills over 30% below the national average. That combination of huge capacity and low cost, it's a powerful magnet for any business that needs a ton of energy. Okay, so let's zoom out and see how this all fits into the bigger national picture. NextEra is basically taking the model they perfected down in Florida and scaling it up across the United States through their competitive arm, NextEra Energy Resources. And the scale here is, well, it's just mind-boggling. In only 3 years, this one division has lined up 35 gigawatts of new projects. The earnings call put it this way, which I think is amazing. If Energy Resources were its own company, its project pipeline alone would make it the 4th largest public utility in the entire country. They are building at an absolutely incredible pace. And this chart of their project backlog, it tells such a fascinating story about where energy is going. Solar is king, no surprise there. But look at this, battery storage. Wow. It's not some little niche thing anymore. It makes up nearly a third of their entire backlog. So why is that? Well, it's the fastest, most scalable way to add new capacity to the grid, which is exactly what these data centers need right now. This brings us to a really crucial concept from the call, bring your own generation, or BYOG. The big worry, right, is that when a giant data center that uses a city's worth of power plugs into the grid, everyone else's electric bill is going to go up. BYOG totally solves this problem. The data center pays a company like NextEra to build a dedicated power source just for them. It's a total win-win. The data center gets the reliable power it needs, and the public doesn't have to deal with rate hikes. And this slide right here breaks down exactly how NextEra plans to dominate this BYOG market. They call it the hook strategy, and it's pretty brilliant. First, they get in the door by offering renewables and batteries, because you can build those super fast. That's the hook. Second, they grow with the customer, adding more power as their needs grow. And third, they provide the long-term 24/7 reliable power from things like natural gas or even next-gen nuclear, making themselves a totally indispensable partner.
All right, so when you put it all together, NextEra is laying out this incredibly ambitious roadmap, not just for the next few years, but for the next decade and beyond. And it's all centered on powering our digital future.
And you can see that ambition reflected right here in their financial targets. The company is projecting this consistent, aggressive growth in both earnings, over 8% a year, and in dividends, targeting around 10% growth. They're basically telling the market, look, we can build the future and be highly profitable while we're doing it. But here's the thing that really stood out from the call. Beyond all the official targets, CEO John Ketchum shared a personal goal. He said he would be disappointed if the company doesn't double its target and deliver at least 30 gigawatts of new generation just for these data center hubs by 2035. I mean, coming from this CEO, that is a huge signal of confidence. And really, it all comes down to this, doesn't it? Our entire digital world, everything from cloud computing to AI, it's all built on a foundation of physical power. So the question isn't just whether AI will get smarter, it's whether we can build the physical infrastructure fast enough to actually power it all.